Obama promised $2 billion in loan guarantees and debt forgiveness for Egypt in an effort to stabilize the economy there. And today, he'll discuss his bold proposal for a Middle East peace deal with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, putting Israel's borders back to the way they were before 1967. These are major issues for Naguib Sawiris. Naguib is one of Egypt's most visible businessmen. Just this week, he stepped down as chairman of Orascom Telecom, the region's largest telecom company, to dedicate himself to politics. Naguib joins us now by phone from Cannes, France. Naguib, talk to us about your reaction. How do you feel about the president's proposals? On the one hand, debt forgiveness for Egypt in the sum of $2 billion, and on the other, a major effort to finally reach a Middle Eastern peace accord by redrawing Israel's borders.
I think we feel that the long-awaited democracy that the United States and George Bush was hoping for have finally been materialized. The disappointment is on the figures. I mean, Egypt is suffering now for a catastrophic economical situation. We have dismantled many of the units we have. Many of the business community are now either jailed or have left the country, and we need to restore confidence in our economy. The $2 billion loan guarantees will not do it. Even the $1 billion debt relief will not do it. We have a gap of 10 to 12 billion. We will need at least a year to restore confidence and stability. I can tell you on behalf of the business community, who is usually pro-U.S., that this announcement is a disappointment in its value.
Naguib, I need to interrupt you. How much money would the president need to put on the table to satisfy the Egyptian business community?
No, I think I'm telling you the gap is 10 to 12 billion, So if the U.S. chips only 10%, we need to get the Europeans to chip in. We need to have the Arab Gulf countries to chip in. The Gulf countries are annoyed at Egypt now because they are not in agreement on the way we have treated our president. And some of their own businessmen now. But the army is well aware of that, and they're trying to issue a law now to forgive some of the misconduct of some of the businessmen in return of financial penalties, but it will take some time. The street is in Egypt are in turmoil because there are many jobs have been lost. If we don't break...
Naguib, I have a couple of questions I need to ask you. The first is, how much of a political risk is this post-revolutionary slowdown in the Egyptian economy? If the economy doesn't pick up, what happens?
If the economy doesn't pick up, we will have what we call the revolution of the hungry, which means that all the unprivileged, the poor people of Egypt will just move on and strike, and we will go into a complete turmoil. That's my biggest fear right now. It's because also the revolution has introduced some leftist notions which are not very positive for return of investment into Egypt.
So
we have a year of disarray.
Is the President Obama, doing the wrong thing? He seems to be making an attempt to divide the Arab world and force Arabs against each other in the sense that he's trying to appeal to the moderates, trying to earn the trust and cooperation of the Egyptians with loan guarantees and debt forgiveness, and at the same time finally reach a deal on Middle Eastern peace. If he's able to do both of those things, would he not succeed in getting the moderate Arab world to oppose the hardline Arab world like those in Syria?
Well, I think first, I don't think he has any bad intentions or he intends to divide the world. I think he's sending the right message. All what I'm saying is it's not, the $1 billion will not do it for Egypt, The second point is we really need a piece of Israel, but Mr. Netanyahu has to have a wake-up call. He needs to understand that the Arab world today is different, that the Arab world today is democratic, and will need to a democratic solution, which means two states have to be initiated at the border of 67. Any further delay or arrogance from their side, arrogance of power, is not going to do it, because there is not anymore on the Arab street any dictatorial leaders who are willing to appease Israel. I'm not a guy who is I am a guy who's calling for a peaceful solution, but it has to come fast and clear. If Israel and Mr. Netanyahu will continue his old tactics of wasting time, then he has not made the jump of the new historical situation in the Middle East.
Naguib, I mentioned that you had left Orascom for politics. You've also started your own political party What political role is it that you seek? What do you want to be doing in Egypt? Do you want to run the country, or would you settle for something lesser than that?
No, I have no intentions to run the country. I'm just one of the liberal parties that are trying to save Egypt from falling into the wrong hands. We believe that the fundamentalists and the Islamic fanatics, and many of them, I'm not talking about the Muslim Brotherhoods, but I'm talking about extremists, are going to hijack the revolution. And we are very fearful now that the attempt of this revolution will be hijacked by religious forces that will return Egypt into the mid-ages, So what we're trying to do today is to have a balanced parliament. The next parliament has to be balanced. If it falls into a religious party, then Egypt is doomed.
Naguib, thank you as always for joining us here in the Inside Track. We'd love to have you back soon. Naguib Sawiris, he's a leading Egyptian businessman. He just this week stepped down as executive chairman of Orascom. You heard him there talking about how he wants to dedicate his life to politics and what kind of a role he seeks.